Hello, welcome back to my channel, My Incredible Classes. Here I will teach you science for classes 6, 7, 8 in a really engaging and joyful manner. Well, we have already started our first class. This is our second class and we have started the first chapter from your textbook Curiosity, right, for class 6. So what was the name of that chapter? The Wonderful World of Science. Yes, you remember? If you don't remember, just go back and see the introduction part. Well, we will continue our class. So, in last class, I told you that we have already taken the baby steps into this world of science. And science is actually a way of thinking, right? And science is everywhere. It is in your kitchen and from your kitchen to your space, okay, everywhere science is there. In your garden, you know, where you are sitting, if you are traveling, everywhere science is involved, okay. The food you eat, you know, variety of cuisines are there in our country, right? So science is everywhere. In everything you will find science. Now, as I told yesterday, without observation science cannot be learned. Okay, so one thing that you should develop is observation. Observe your surroundings. Many things are happening. Yes. Now, yesterday also I told one more thing. What? For science, for learning science, this why and how questions are important. Yes. If you see something, you should ask yourself how this is happening. How and why it is happening. Okay, this how and why questions, when you find the answers for your how and why questions, then you will automatically become a little scientist. That I told you yesterday, right? And our chapters are shaped in such a way that we should develop or inculcate this thinking process more and more, right? There is no limit for thinking. Yes, because you are little scientist, and if you want to become like a little scientist, you should develop the scientific temperament in yourself. What is this scientific temperament? Scientific temperament is nothing but finding answers to your how and why questions that have arisen in you when you see a new problem or a new situation or a new thing, right? So, and to find those answers, we can follow a scientific method. Okay, now scientific method is not like anything to be followed in a laboratory, right? It can be followed in our day-to-day life. How? When we see a new problem, a new situation, new thing, okay, we can naturally think how and why. Just for example, if your pen stops writing, that is in your textbook, I'm taking an example from your textbook. If your pen stops writing, okay, what would you do? You will throw it in the dustbin and go and buy one new pen from the market. Is it so? If that is your answer, then my dear learner, this scientific temperament has still not developed in you. Yes, and if that is not your answer, and you will say that, ma'am, I will just open it and see if the ink is finished or ink is dried up. I will can scribble on a paper and see if the ink has dried up. I will check and recheck, and still nothing works, then I will throw it in the dustbin. If that is your answer, then my dear, the scientific temperament is in you. It's already in you. So my dear learners, if I take an example, in earlier days, how do we move? Our movement was on foot, right? But then people start thinking, you know what, we need something to take us so that our movement could be more easier, could become more easier. Now what? So somehow they made some guesses and came to a conclusion that yes, we need a wheel. But what kind of or what shape of wheel can take us more easier? So first they thought we can make a square shaped wheel. Yes, square shaped wheel. But was that possible? Okay, they experimented. They tried to move it, but the square shaped wheel was not moving easily or softly. Yes, then they thought we can make this edges little softer, so the movement could be little easier. So yes, they made that. Okay, so first assumptions, it gradually become wrong, so they made second assumption or guess. Okay, and they tried it, they tried and experimented. Okay, so again they face this problem that it is still not moving easily. So again they made it softer, and they continue this process till they got a very interesting shape. Okay, they got a shape, the circle shaped wheel, which made their movement easier. Okay, so they had this problem, they encountered a problem that, or a situation that we want to move easily. Okay, so they start thinking, how can we do that, what do we need? Okay, so for that they made certain guesses. Okay, what we can make. Okay, a wheel, then what kind of shape, square shape, rectangle shape, what kind of shape. Okay, then for every shape they experimented. Okay, they try to move it, but the movement was not easier. Okay, then they finally, as they test that, experiment that, they finally got a shape that make their movement easier. And that is why still in this 21st century we are able to travel long thousands of kilometers easily, because our forefathers had this thinking. They thought, how can we do that, how can we make our movement easier, our life easier? If they haven't thought, we might be still walking on foot. Okay, and covering long distances. Okay, so in long back they had this scientific temperament. So we can have this scientific temperament, we can follow the scientific method in simple things. Okay, we not need a big laboratory for following the scientific method or doing the experiment, right? Yes, so this is actually the essence of this chapter, that, and moreover the experiments are not done alone, they are actually done in group, then only we can enjoy these experiments. Okay. Well, this was a way of telling you that in coming chapters we have to follow the scientific method for learning the thing, instead of just this rote learning. We can do and learn the things. Okay, so with this note I want to end the chapter. We will continue our journey in the coming classes. Okay, we will meet again. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.